Kamala Harris calling on UK Labour strategists for election advice, believe it or not. According to Politico Europe, one of UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's top advisors, Deborah Mattinson, will brief the campaign on how they fed a line of left-wing extremism to the British people, and they bought it, and then they won. Seems the Democrats' America Last agenda knows no bounds. Let's bring in our panel, Newsmax political analyst Mark Halperin and host of the briefing, Ed Henry. Hiya, guys. Mark, you first. After a lifetime of left-wing extremism and policies, Kamala Harris says she didn't mean any of it. She's backtracking on all of it. As we're a little over 2 months away from Election Day and early voting is about ready to get underway any day now, what's your sense? Can the biased press provide enough cover for Kamala so she can convince people that she's just changed all of her, decades-long held positions?
So, Chris, there's a group of people who cover the White House and cover the Democratic presidential campaign who are the exact same group of people who for years participated actively in the cover-up of Joe Biden's loss of mental acuity. If they were willing to engage in the cover-up of that, some because they wanted to not help Trump and some because they were intimidated by the Democrats, why would we think that that group would behave any differently now in the home stretch?
It's a fair point. Ed, Harris will reportedly travel to Pittsburgh tomorrow to prepare for the next week's presidential debate, if it even happens. It's 5 days of prep. It's about half of what Joe Biden needed, and you know what he did. Now, she has a stand-in for President Trump who will wear that signature red tie he wears so she can visualize her opponent. Trump is getting help from Tulsi Gabbard, who clobbered Harris in Harris's last failed presidential run. But the Harris campaign hasn't officially accepted this debate. It's not official yet. She wants to keep those mics open. Are they trying to pull out of this debate, in your view?
I think they've had trepidation, perhaps, but I don't see a scenario where she could reasonably expect to be credible moving forward and back out at the last minute. So I think it's likely to move forward, and it's expected that the mics will be muted, as both sides, both parties had agreed. Kamala Harris wasn't the nominee when they agreed to those rules, but that's what the Democrats wanted. They thought it was going to help them somehow. Joe Biden kind of called all the shots and, as you say, got his clock cleaned. So I think Kamala Harris, the more we see of her, the more the public sees of her, the lower she is in the polls. I mean, once she gave that economic speech in North Carolina leading into the Democratic convention, and we learned about tax increases, and we learned about price control, she's kind of been struggling ever since. No bounce out of the Democratic convention. And as I read what Mark is posting on a daily basis and other sharp observers, she has real trouble right now in the battlegrounds, Pennsylvania and maybe Michigan as well. And she's struggling right now. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah. Well, I want to get to that. Mark, about the debate first. Reuters says that Kamala Harris will goad President Trump, call out what she deems are lies, and then create, quote, social media moments. No talk of articulating a plan to improve the lives of the American people. There'll be none of that. If you can address that and also address your sources where they're telling you that Harris is not only behind in some battleground states, including Pennsylvania, but she's likely to lose a state of Pennsylvania altogether. Talk about that, too.
Well, look, I can't falter if it's true that her strategy is to create what I call gladiatorial moments in the debate that put on social media. She'd be like any smart presidential candidate. That's the way debates work. So I can't falter for that if that's what she's doing. In terms of Pennsylvania, I was struck yesterday in a number of conversations I had with Democrats who know the state well, who say not just that she would lose Pennsylvania today, but that they find it challenging to imagine her winning it eventually. They don't rule it out, but they are concerned that on the current trajectory, she'd lose it. And as you know, Chris, when you play with the Electoral College math, without Pennsylvania, she can do it mathematically. It's not implausible, but it's much tougher for her to win this 270 electoral votes without Pennsylvania.